Hello and welcome to South Jersey in Focus. I'm your host, Veronica Dudo. Coming up on this week's episode, a historic landmark and beloved attraction at the Jersey Shore is getting some national attention. Plus, we'll also check in with a unique venue that's enhancing the Atlantic City food and beverage scene. A historic landmark and beloved Jersey Shore attraction is getting some national attention. Lucy the Elephant is a 6-story high national historic landmark located along the beach in Margate. The nearly 143-year-old giant pachyderm has been nominated by USA Today for America's favorite roadside attraction. For more, we're joined by Rich Helfand, the Executive Director and CEO of Lucy the Elephant. Hi, Rich. Thanks so much for joining us today.
It's great to be here, Veronica. It's great to be here. Thank you.
So, what an exciting nomination for Lucy the Elephant. What has been the response so far from the local community?
I have to tell you, we're over the moon for this nomination. I mean, to be nominated in a national publication, and as of this morning when I voted, because you can vote every day, we are still number one in the running for best roadside attraction in the United States. Voting goes until May 6th, and we've got our fingers and toes crossed that we'll stay number one and we'll win this award.
Now, Lucy also received another local award not too long ago. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, back on March 28th, the Greater Atlantic City Chamber of Commerce had their awards ceremony, and Lucy won the award for tourism excellence in the Greater Atlantic City region. Lucy is the number one non-gaming attraction that people inquire about when they come to visit Atlantic City.
Now, it's so fascinating, her history, and for people who may not be familiar with it, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So Lucy, as you mentioned, will be 143 years old this coming July. She already is the oldest roadside attraction in the United States, older than the Statue of Liberty, older than the Brooklyn Bridge, older than the Eiffel Tower over in Paris. So she already has that distinction, and we're hopeful that on May 6th, she'll also be voted as the best and most favorite roadside attraction in America. She is, as you mentioned, a National Historic Landmark, and there's only 20 some hundred of those in the country. So that's a pretty prestigious position to have. And Lucy was built back in 1881 by a real estate developer in Philadelphia by the name of James Lafferty. What had happened was Atlantic City had become this brand new seaside resort, which was incorporated in 1854, and they built the railroad from Philadelphia to Camden, then down to Atlantic City. Lafferty had this vision that if he could build this crazy thing on the beach in an area that was then called South Atlantic City, that people would be compelled to come down from Atlantic City to see this giant elephant, and he could sell his real estate holdings. So Lucy was actually built as a real estate marketing tool back in 1881.
And before all the days of social media. So it is fascinating. Back then, instead of going viral, you needed word of mouth for people to want to really come down to see this attraction.
Absolutely. He advertised in the Philadelphia newspapers. I believe the Philadelphia Inquirer was already being published by 1881. And he advertised about the Jersey Shore and the therapeutic value of the salt air and the seawater, and played on people in that fashion. And actually the interest in Lucy was so great that it convinced the railroad executives to extend the track from Atlantic City down Atlantic Avenue, down the island. And so Lucy was the catalyst that created the railroad to come down to Margate, Longport, and then off the island at the southern end over to Summers Point.
It's really a fascinating story. And again, she is truly, the elephant is beloved by locals and tourists alike, which of course brings us to now you're still doing a lot of tours. How can people book that?
So we're open 5 days a week through the end of April. Then starting May 1st, we go to 7 days a week. We're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 4, weekends 10 to 5. And then in mid-June, we go into our summer schedule when we're open 10 to 8, Monday through Saturday, and 10 to 5 on Sundays. Tours are offered every 45 minutes through the elephant. We can accommodate up to 48 people on each tour, and tickets are sold at Lucy's gift shop. It's $8.50 for adults, $4 for children under 13. Children under 3 are admitted for free, and we also extend complimentary admission to all members of the U.S. military, both active and veterans.
Now, if you haven't seen Lucy in person, it's really quite a structure, especially given, as you mentioned, the time period in which she was built.
There's nothing like her, and you've been there in person, so there are statues and there are museums and there are a lot of historic sites, but there's only one giant six-story elephant on the planet, and we're so fortunate that she's ours and she's here in Margate. She is, as I mentioned, the number one non-gaming attraction that people inquire about when they come to the greater Atlantic City area. And Veronica, it's so gratifying to us. When I took over as the director of Lucy back in 2000, they were welcoming maybe 3,000 or 4,000 visitors a year to the site. Well, I'm happy to tell you and your viewers that in 2023 we had 137,000 visitors come to the site.
So, what do you attribute that to?
I attribute it to a lot of things. One, our presence on social media is very, very strong right now. We have over 40,000 fans on Facebook alone and a similar number on Instagram. We're constantly posting and keeping our social media current and fresh and relevant. But aside from that, we're very, very aggressive in our marketing, always tweaking it to what's trending and what people are looking at. And as I said, Lucy is so unique. And what we see is that people who came here when they were kids are now bringing their kids. So it continues and it snowballs. And she's a must see when you come to the Jersey Shore. It would be like going to New York and not seeing the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty. When you come to South Jersey, to Atlantic City, to Ocean City, to Wildwood, Lucy is a must see.
As you mentioned, the attraction is certainly transcending generations, but also for some history buffs, it's a bit of a snapshot in time, not just the exterior structure of how Lucy was built, but also inside. And didn't it double as a house at one point?
Yes, actually, you're correct. Lucy was a residence in 1902. She was turned into a tavern in 1903 for 1 year. And that only lasted 1 year because it was before electricity was introduced into her. So they used to light her with kerosene lanterns. And it's not a good habit to mix people drinking in kerosene. It started some fires and stuff. So they stopped that after 1 year. But most of her life, she's been just a tourist attraction. In 1976, designated as a National Historic Landmark. And hopefully in another month, she'll be America's favorite roadside attraction as well.
Now, there has to be a lot in terms of restoration. Can you talk a little bit about what has been done and also, what you need to do just to kind of keep her in tip-top shape?
Sure. As you know, we just in December of 2022, we completed a $2.5 million restoration of Lucy's exterior. What had happened was every 5 to 10 years, depending on weather, Lucy's exterior has to be painted. Well, in 2020, when we brought in the painting specialists, the contractors, and the engineers, they determined that there were so many layers of paint on the metal that they couldn't paint it anymore without stripping all of the old paint off. When we started that process, we discovered that so much of her metal skin, which was made out of tin, had rotted away over the years because of rust and exposure to the elements, that they felt the tin would have to be repaired before she could be painted. And as we continued to strip paint away, we discovered that so much of it was rotted that it became more cost effective to replace all of it instead of just repairing it. So we brought in more engineers, more metallurgists, people who study metal, and they determined that we could no longer use tin because tin has lead in it and you can't use lead anymore. So they were going back and forth between using a stainless steel metal, and what they decided on was using a metal alloy called Monel 400, which is a nickel and copper based alloy. And we stripped all of her metal off, repaired all the damaged wood underneath, put brand new metal on her from top to bottom, and then painted it with a 5 coat process called Acromax. And that was $2.5 million in 15 months. But we unveiled her on December 28th, 2022. And we have been so over the moon that our visitor counts have been up since then. People are anxious to come back and see the brand new Lucy. And it was a great year last year, and looking forward to an even better year this year.
Now, in terms of any potential donations, is the company or is it operating as a nonprofit?
Yes, the Save Lucy Committee, which is the organization that maintains and operates Lucy, is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation. So all donations that come into us are tax deductible under IRS guidelines. There's 3 ways that people can donate to Lucy, either in person, of course, at One Lucy Plaza, 9200 Atlantic Avenue in Margate, or through our website, which is lucytheelephant.org, or mailing in a donation to One Lucy Plaza, 9200 Atlantic Avenue, Margate 08402. 3 ways to donate. All donations are tax deductible. And I want to share with your viewers, Veronica, that starting in September, we're going to undergo the final phase of restoration for the site. We're actually going to be tearing down the existing gift shop and building a brand new state-of-the-art welcome center, which will have ADA compliant restrooms in it. It will have an interpretive center in it where people who are unable to climb Lucy's winding stairs will be able to sit in front of a computer and take a virtual tour of her. We're going to be recreating a half-block section of the historic boardwalk that once stood in Margate, which will serve as the grand entrance into the new building. And we're also going to be restoring the interior of Lucy, stripping away the old plaster walls and repairing them and replacing them where necessary, replacing her aging HVAC system, which is now 52 years old, doing upgrades to the fire suppression system, and refinishing the wooden floors. So it's a major undertaking, just shy of $4 million, and we're slated to begin that in September. Should take the better part of 14 months, and we're looking to reopen a brand new facility sometime late summer of 2025.
So while Lucy is getting ready to celebrate a 143 birthday, just really sounds that the elephant will, have some great days ahead with all of these new additions. Really exciting.
It is an exciting time for us. This has been a long time coming. We actually started planning a new visitor center back in 2003, quite a long time ago. But because of funding shortfalls and various other things, we were never able to realize this. But now we're in a position where we can. We're doing this in partnership with the city of Margate. They've been great partners, and they're going to help fund this new building, along with, hopefully, fingers crossed, some state grants and some federal grants. But as I said, we are scheduled to break ground in September, to build this new welcome center. And finally, we'll be able to have a visitor center that is worthy of Lucy as a national landmark.
Rich Helfand, thanks so much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing your viewers and your program with us. And we'll see you soon, Veronica. Thank you.
Tennessee Avenue Atlantic City Group is unveiling new additions to its unique location in the resort town. The owners conceptualize 4 unique concepts to resurrect a city block to make an ultimate culinary and party experience on the beach block just off the world-famous Atlantic City Boardwalk. For more, we're joined by Sarah Colazzo, the Director of Marketing for Tennessee Avenue. Hi, Sarah. Thanks so much for your time today.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
So this is such a unique experience for a lot of people who may not be familiar. Can you talk a little bit about this new venue?
So basically, we just wanted to give Atlantic City a main street. so many other cities in the world have it, and we wanted to give people that are visiting, but really we wanted to focus on locals, give them a place that they can go where they can, go to happy hours, start their day off before they're going to a show, spend their night there. That's outside of a casino. So we always say that we're friends that became family, and we always say that we just wanted to, kind of change the city a little bit on our one little beach block. And it's been an awesome journey. I think we're almost 8 years into the project. And it's grown into something bigger than we could have ever imagined. So it's been a super fulfilling job.
Now, of course, the owners began with an idea for the Orange Loop. They have more plans. Can you talk a little bit about the significance of that, also where the name came from?
Yeah, so we really like to play off of Monopoly, and we are on Tennessee Avenue, as well as New York Avenue and St. James. Those are all of the orange slots on Monopoly. So when this project kind of started, we were like, why don't we just call ourselves the Orange Loop? It was kind of made for us by Monopoly, so we just thought it'd be super fun to play into that. So all of the restaurants on Tennessee Avenue, Bar 32, Chocolate and Cocktails, Rhythm and Spirits, Cuzzy's Pizzeria and Kitchen, Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall, a little nod to Chucktown Barbecue, and the Tennessee Avenue Tobacco Company, which is coming soon, which we're going to talk about a little bit later. We're all under the same ownership. And it's kind of fun. Whenever you come in, you're always going to see somebody from the other properties. If you eat at the beer hall and then you go to Bar 32 for dessert, people are always like, wait, were you just my server? Didn't I just see you? So it's a kind of a full blown family affair. It's a big old team effort down there.
So it's really giving off a block party vibe. What has been the response from locals and also tourists?
It's been really great. We get a lot of people that obviously we have our locals, which are regulars that we like to see them, and they're fun to hang out with all year long. But it's honestly really cool seeing the tourists when they come down. They make us a part of their annual Atlantic City trip, which is something that's really special. They like to see everything that's changed. They are super thankful that a lot of things stay the same. So it's really cool being able to like catch up with them and see them, and I feel like no time has passed at all. But it's a really cool experience because there's really nowhere else in the city that you can, have happy hour at one restaurant, walk literally 2 steps down, and wind up in a completely different environment. And then you can see live music. All of our venues have live music. They all have awesome cocktails and food and beer and wine. And then, you go to Bar 32 for dessert. So the thought is you kind of pick the vibe, and then you kind of just let us be in charge of the experience. You just bop down the street and you're guaranteed something awesome.
So, as you mentioned, the way the geography is, the layout along the world famous Atlantic City Boardwalk, of course, there are the casinos, and in each casino, they have a lot of different options. But as you mentioned, to have that local vibe in terms of being able to go to a couple of different places that's somewhat near each other, it is unique. So building this, has really been an option for people to be able to do this, as you mentioned, to hang out. But there's also some new additions. Can you talk a little bit more about the cigar lounge and also the outdoor secret garden?
Yes. So the Tennessee Avenue Tobacco Company started probably a year and a half ago. Um, we got this super awesome trailer, and the thought was that we were gonna, park it around the city. You could rent it out for venues, or you can rent it out for your special events. It was parked outside of Bally's on the boardwalk all summer, which was super awesome. And then after the responses and feedback we got, we're like, no, the city definitely needs this. So we are this spring. I'm not going to give you an official date, but this spring coming soon, we are going to essentially make an awesome cigar lounge where you're going to be able to enjoy our specialty picked cigars from tobacconist Kobe Fryer. And then you're going to be able to enjoy all things Tennessee Avenue as well. So if you want to get food from the beer hall, if you want to get a dessert from Bar 32, it's kind of just taking everything that we have on the block and elevating it to the next level. We're really trying to make this summer the absolute best one yet. Which is going to be super exciting. So that's going to be inside at the cigar lounge. And in the back, we have our secret garden, which I'm going to keep some of it a secret because that's the name. But The Secret Garden has been a part of Rhythm and Spirits since we opened. The space itself has evolved a lot. Um, and we just think really capitalizing on that Secret Garden is going to be something super cool. When you walk back there, it does not feel like you're in Atlantic City. Some people say they feel like they're in Philadelphia. Some people can't put their finger on where they feel like, because you're just totally immersed in the space. So we're going to do a lot of signature dinners back here. We're gonna combine the talents of Chef Charles Sorenth and Lee Sanchez, and put their masterminds together. And that's gonna be a space that was kind of just like an add-on of Rhythm and Spirits previously, just like our little outdoor seating. And now we're really gonna capitalize on that and make it into something really cool.
Now, so many companies around the world, also establishments, including in the hospitality realm, have been trying to really get back to that pre pandemic output. How has it been for you in the resort town, coming out of obviously everything that happened in terms of COVID with servers, bringing guests back? What has that been like heading into now, again, another summer season?
I don't want to sound naive, but we actually had a really great transition coming out of COVID. I feel like our block was a space that was always a constant for people. It was, always open. It was always there, and they knew that no matter what they were celebrating or what they were doing, they were going to have a great experience there. So people were really excited to come back. And then also a lot of people during COVID, were planning their trips and planning, what they were going to do when they came down to Atlantic City. So a lot of people came and were excited to come see us. So we've just been kind of building and growing, and we always just say that we're evolving into what the city needs, where our hearts are leading us. We have all the tools right in front of us. We just need to kind of take it and run with it. So I think this planning for this season is really going to be no different. We are just really excited to get going, have that warm weather. We have two great outdoor spaces, the Secret Garden, obviously, and then the Beer Hall Backyard, which is outside of the Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall. And it's my favorite place in the world to sit, outside that fire pit when there's live music and people are just walking up and down the street. It's my favorite place in the world, and I am just so excited to get back there.
Now, of course, you are a year-round destination, but it is important to highlight there's some extra activities when the weather is warmer, springtime, and of course in the summer season. How much does that play a role into potentially, bringing more visitors?
I think it's just cool to know that you can come to us all the time, but Summer Tennessee Avenue is the place to be. And I think what's really cool about us is that we partner with a lot of the casinos. We're also a part of North Beach, which is the Steel Pier, the Lighthouse, and Ocean, Hard Rock, and Showboat and Resorts. So, I had to make sure I didn't forget anybody. um, so we don't try to take away from that experience. We say no, stay at your casino. Do you have your dinner, go to your show, and then come to us after, and we're going to give you just as great of an experience. And what we started on this block has been really cool because we've seen a lot of other people really focus on redeveloping the city, making sure that there's stuff for locals, making sure that we're not a ghost town in the winter. um, and that's something that is really cool because when people see you all year round, then it makes the summer just an easy transition, and people don't feel like they're in a beach town. They feel like they're, this is home, and this is what people do. And yeah, if you can't tell, I'm just very, very excited for the summer.
Now, people of all ages, of course, they're on multiple social media platforms, but we really see a lot in terms of younger generations. How does social media factor in for you when you're able to share videos, photos, obviously, stories? The goal for a lot of establishments is to potentially get the word out to the masses that they're open and that people should come and check them out. How is that factoring into to the success of the Orange Loop?
We really just try to have fun with it. I mean, I run all of our social media accounts, and I always say I try not to take it too seriously because part of coming to Tennessee Avenue is you're coming for our staff. You're coming for, our quirkiness, and you're going to get an elevated service, and you're going to have an awesome experience. But our servers, we always say, let your personality shine through. You're here for a reason. So I really try to, capitalize on, I always say, hashtag Team 10, because that's who we are, and we wouldn't be who we are. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without our staff members. So I really try to highlight them. We try to have some fun along the way, and we really put out a great product. So they kind of make my life really easy, because I just have to take a good picture of something that's already really pretty and really, desirable to look at. So just having tons of food, tons of drinks, and just people having fun on the space. I like to highlight that on our social media, because when I'm scrolling through social media, it's like, oh, I want to be them. They look like they're having the best time, and I want that. Where do I have to go for that? Yeah, they make my life kind of easy. So shout out to my bosses. Thanks.
Fantastic. Sarah Colazzo from Tennessee Avenue, thank you so much for your time today and telling us more about the Orange Loop.
Thank you so much for having me. We'll see you. We'll see you on the block soon.
Thanks for watching South Jersey in Focus. I'm your host, Veronica Dudo. We look forward to seeing you next time. Be sure to watch more on New Jersey at ONNJ.com.